Okay.
You know, I just get up and the teacher asks what's going on, and I really couldn't explain to them what's going on because I was worried about what was going to happen after school if I said something. Because back then, a lot of people would say, well, after school, or they probably still do that now, after school is going to be about me and you, whatever the case was. And, you know, all I had really was is for me to defend myself once I started going to different schools. We were all in the same school at one point, but I had to walk home from school. I get into fights, you know, on my way home, and it really, at one point, it really got out of hand to the point where I was, you know, getting suspended or, you know, being expelled. It got out, you know, got a little out of hand.
So how, when you say out of hand, what, you care to share what happened? What took place?
Yeah, you know, I would do, you know, by my actions, because like I said, I was really, really quiet. I just would act to the situation, act to whatever situation was going on, whether I was being teased or pushed on or, you know, picked at. I would pick up a chair or stapler or whatever I had in my hand or just throw it at them, and they're like, you know, well, he got anger issues. But the thing was, when you're constantly being picked at, you're eventually going to retaliate, and nobody knows how that retaliation is going to happen or when it's going to happen.
And could you all relate to
Oh,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I definitely understand what he's talking about because, like I said, as a youngster, I was more or less, I got along with everybody. But every once in a while, there was that one person that would just pick at you and pick at you and pick at you.
Right.
And then at some point, you know, you're going to say enough. You might not even say enough. You might not even, it might surprise you when it happens. And you just snap. And next thing you know, you're fighting with this kid or you got a stick or a bat or a rock. I mean, when it snapped for me, I was in Sharon and I was chasing this kid around the playground with a brick.
Right.
And they had never seen that before. I almost got expelled and kicked out of Sharon for that. Almost got kicked out of Metco for that. But it was because of him.
But let me ask you now, and I thank you for that call, caller.
Oh, thank you, no problem.
But what I want to ask now, what happens to now? You bullied, right?
Yes.
So what happened to you? I mean, what did the teacher say to you? What did the principal say to you? When you're picking on this guy or when you're picking on this guy, what does the teacher or the principal of the school say to you?
Basically, the teacher really wasn't really saying that because we're not going to do it in front of the teachers. We're going to do it, you know, after school. We're going to write them a note. You know, back in the day, we write them a note, or you know, have somebody else send it to them, like whispering that person in, other person whispering other person in, like he want to see you after school. We want to meet you after school. But best time we was doing it like by the lockers, in the bathrooms. You know, we was doing it, you know, so we wouldn't get caught. You know, you can't get caught because you're going to go to the guidance counselor.
Right. So, like, let me bring the question to you then. When he tells you, well, I'm going to catch you, I'm going to wait until after school, I'm going to get you.
Well, that was usually the plan. It was after school.
Yeah.
Yeah, but who do you take that message to?
Well, usually you take it to him and hope and pray what's going to happen after school, because the teachers basically stay out of stuff like that.
Now, when you say him, you're talking about the Lord, right?
That's what I'm talking about.
All right,
yeah.
okay.
Yes.
But my point is, when you say to either one, even me, okay, I'm going to get you, and I go to the teacher, I say, well, you know, he's picking on me.
Well, you don't do that. You don't go to the teacher because then that's going to be worse for you.
More
Especially
trouble.
at that age group, you can't go to the teacher and say, you know, such and so's picking on me, or they're going to jump me after school. Well, the teacher's not going to walk you home.
No.
You have to learn how to handle that on your own. You can't. You learn that in kindergarten that you can't go to the teacher
Okay,
with
so
that.
in other words, what you're saying to me is, okay, the bully is pretty much, he was pretty much in charge, because nothing...
Basically, that's what happened. And you have to also understand, too, a lot of the times the teachers are so caught up with so many kids. You know, we're talking about inner city schools there where the classes are packed.
Right.
So the teacher can't really keep an eye on what every kid's doing, because by the time you get to a certain age, your behavior should be a certain way.
I think we have, hold that thought, I think we got a call. Hello, caller, welcome to It's in the Word.
Thank you. Good evening, gentlemen, and God bless you. This is Betty from Dorchester. I'd like to make a comment. A long, long time ago, one person fought to take prayer out of school. I would love to see one person fight to bring prayer back.
Amen.
God bless you.
Thank
God
you for that
bless you.
point.
Amen.
Okay.
Amen.
Point well taken.
Yes.
You know, but getting back to what you were saying, Manny, okay, me saying to the teacher, he's picking. I think we have another call. Hello, caller. Welcome to It's in the Word.
Hi, Benjamin. I want to commend you. You always do a good show, and I appreciate this topic that you're talking about. I think that this topic about bullying is something that is not necessarily being addressed in the inner cities the way it should. A lot of suburban towns are trying to, push and do things, but bullying in Boston is still very, very pervasive. It's there,
Right.
and it happens. And I feel bad for a lot of these people that are bullied, and they really don't have a real way out.
True.
And I'm just wondering what the town might have to say about that. How do we protect kids that are being bullied and really don't know what to do?
Right.
Well, I think nowadays, because there's a lot of attention on bullying, the teachers are now, the onus is more or less on the administrators and the teachers to listen out and to watch for these things, because for a long time, bullies were getting away with doing these things. And just recently this year, I've seen not only my child, but other kids going through it with certain bullies. And let me tell you, with my experience, we took the school to task on this situation. And I'm telling you, it was like pulling eye teeth to get this school to actually recognize what was going on. I mean, the administrator at the school really, really did not want to pay attention to what was going on. She kept sweeping it under the rug. She kept downplaying it. Oh, it's about a boy, or it's this, or it's that. And I'm like, no, it's not that. This girl, and then the girl actually came out and said, I just don't like your daughter, in front of the people. And they still wanted to downplay it. And at that point, I was like, you know what? This is going too far. You all going to have to do your job, or we're going to have to get you moved out of your position so you can find somebody that's going to do your job. But nowadays, they really need to, the onus is now on the teachers.
Okay.
And the onus is now on the administrators to actually do something when they get a report. And these kids need to learn that, you know what, it's not bad. See, back in our day, you couldn't go tell the teacher. But nowadays, they can go and tell the teacher, because there are steps that they have to take. when this happens. Because I mean, it can get to the point where the police have to get involved, and sometimes that's what it takes, because there are parents that are home not parenting.
True.
They're letting their kids go out there and run amok, and then you got parents that are at home teaching their kids how to do things the right way, and those are the ones whose children are being victimized.
Yeah, I believe the time changed, though, like when we was a bully to now. See, right now, it's like the medias are playing a big role in making movies about the bully and the bullier, The media is making a lot of movies. And right now, a lot of kids got ADD. So if you bully the kids right now today, you might have another Columbine on your hands. More kids bring guns and weapons to school. So it gets bigger today as we grow on. Because the media has helped building up the kids. So if you watch on TV, this kid got bullied, but his results, he killed like 5, 6 people in the school. You're going to put that in your mind. You program that in your mind now. So it's in the back of your mind. So you're going to say, oh, I can do that to be my defense. So you're going to come to your defense, and you're going to want to plan something that, bring a weapon in school or take it out on the teachers, the people that bullied you, but you're going to use, because they got more advanced weapons right now. It ain't just like back in our days we had knives and sticks.
In your fist.
In your fist.
Okay.
Right now they got guns and AKs. They got semi-automatic weapons. So it changed from now to then.
I mean, they're going on the internet learning how to make pipe bombs and things like that. So I mean, with the internet and the world getting smaller because of the internet and technology being out there at their fingertips, it's a dangerous situation, because these kids now are like, you know what, I can get a gun. They're not using their words.
Exactly.
And they're not they're not being taught. Some kids are not being taught at home problem-solving skills, and you need and dispute resolution, and that's something that you need to learn at home as well as in the streets. Period.
Yeah. Which brings me back to your point. Now, back in your day, like you said, you sometimes you took your beating and you just went on home and you got another beating, right? But now mentally, was there a time? I like if you can share, bring us to the point where you said enough. You know.
Well, enough was when I was in the 6th grade and been walking away from bullies since the 4th grade, and it was the same people, the same bullies from the 4th grade up. And finally, I'm entering into class, and you know, I love my mother. You only get one, and